Hi everyone, I hope you are all safe and healthy. So today's lesson is for 9th graders. It's taken from Module 6 Civility and the lesson is entitled How to be Cooperative. Okay, let's start. So as you see here in this lesson, there are three main stages: pre-reading, reading, and the post-reading or the production phase. Let's start with the pre-reading stage. Okay, in step 1, you're asked to watch a video and answer the questions. Of course, before watching the video, I'm going to read question 1 for you, and then we go back to the video. Okay, question 1. How did the animals in the video solve the problems they were faced with? All you need is to click on one of these alternatives. A. They solved their problems by working individually. B. They solved their problems by helping each other and working in groups. Now, please pause this presentation, go to the link to the video below, and give yourself 2 minutes to watch it and answer the question. Well, I hope you've given yourself 2 minutes to watch the video and do the task. Alright, let's correct it together. So, as I said, question 1 is how did the animals in the video solve the problems they were faced with? Is it by working individually? As you see here, it's a wrong answer. So, it's by helping each other and working in groups. It's a correct answer. Good. So, what is helping each other and working in groups? We'll see in question 2. So, look at the following list and pick up words or expressions related to working in groups and helping each other. So, here is the list of the words. I'm going to read it for you. Teamwork, alone, together, harmony, lazy, partner, trust, and cooperation. So I'm going to help you here. Just drop 2 words that do not belong to the topic working in groups and helping each other. I think 1 minute is enough for you to think of a correct answer. Okay, let's click on correction here and let's check whether you answered right. Great. So, the words related to working in groups and helping each other are harmony, together, teamwork, partner, trust, and of course, cooperation. And the 2 words that we dropped are alone and lazy. They do not belong to this topic. But here, as you see, I highlighted the word cooperation, and you may have noticed that the title of the lesson contains a similar word, which is cooperative. The title of the lesson is How to be Cooperative, and here we have cooperation. Can you guess the relationship between these 2 words? Sorry. So let's check in the table. So here we have cooperation, it's a noun, and the adjective is cooperative. And of course, the verb is to cooperate. Okay, now, how do you think we can be, or how do you think we can cooperate? So I chose 3 pictures for you. Picture 1, at work. Picture 2, at home. How can we cooperate at home? And finally, how do you think we can cooperate at school? Let's go back to picture 1. So here, cooperation at work. Stopping a fire. Who stops a fire? So firefighters cooperate. They help each other in order to stop a fire. Now at home, as you see in the picture, these are family members. They are sharing tasks. They are sharing house chores. They are cleaning the house together. And an atmosphere of harmony. They are having fun. So this is cooperation at home. They are sharing housework. And finally, how do you think we can cooperate at school? So these are pupils, classmates, peers, or we can call them partners. They share the same, they are doing a project work together. How can they do a project work together? How can they cooperate? Of course, they share ideas, thoughts, and tasks. And as you notice here, they are having fun. They are enjoying cooperating with each other in an atmosphere of harmony and trust. Okay, now let's move to the second part of the lesson, which is the reading stage or the reading part. So read the text on page 134 in your student's book and answer the questions on the following page. You can read the text from the screen. So let's read the questions first. I'm going to read them for you, comprehension questions. Question 1, tick the correct alternative and justify. In this text, the speaker, A, has a good relationship with his classmates. B, he has a bad relationship with his classmates. So all you need here to slide the tick here or here. Question 2, say whether the following statements are true or false. And of course, as usual, we need to justify. First statement, the classmate always helps the speaker when they work in pairs. You can slide the true or the false here. The speaker, statement 2, the speaker doesn't think his classmate can do the work correctly. So now pause this presentation for 10 minutes to read the text and do the tasks. I hope you've given yourself 10 minutes to read the text and do the tasks. Okay, now let's check the correction together. Let's click on correction. Question 1, tick the correct alternative and justify. So the correct alternative is that the speaker has a bad relationship with his classmates. So the justification, you can find it in paragraph 1, line 1. I had a hard time, or I had a difficult time getting along with my classmate. And let's remember now that to have a good relationship with someone is to get along with someone, or to get on well with someone, so which is not the case in our text. Question number 2, say whether the following statements are true or false, and as usual, justify. Statement 1, the classmate always helps the speaker when they work in pairs. It is false. The justification is always in paragraph 1. So line 2, he would just sit around watching me do the whole work alone. There is no cooperation here. He doesn't help him. So statement number 2, the speaker doesn't think his classmate can do the work correctly. It's true. The justification is it was hard for me to trust him to do it right. It was hard for me to trust him to do it right. And here let's remember the meaning of the word to trust. So to trust someone is to believe that someone can do something the way you want it to. Now we are going to reread the text for a second time. And before reading the text, as usual, we need to read the questions first. Question number 3, who helped the speaker in his project work and how? So we have the who and the how. So who, we are looking for a person, how, the manner. Question 4, the speaker concluded that, or the speaker came to the conclusion that to carry out a piece of work usually requires cooperation. Here you need to choose the proverb that best fits this sentence. Proverb number 1, many hands make light work. Proverb 2, too many cooks spoil the broth. So you need to click the tick here or here as usual. The last question, find in the text words or expressions meaning nearly the same as. In paragraph 3, needs, means, and in paragraph 2, to realize or to understand, find a word meaning these words. Of course, we go back to the text, we read it, we think for 5 minutes for the answers. Here is the text again. Okay, take your time. Now pause the video, then let's go back to the questions and try to correct them together. Okay, so question number 3, who helped the speaker in his project work and how? The answer is his mother helped him. She read it and they shared their thoughts. You can find it in paragraph 2 of the text, of course. In question 4, the speaker concluded that to carry out a piece of work usually requires cooperation. So what is the proverb that fits best this sentence? And here the answer is proverb number 1, many hands make light work, and the wrong proverb is too many cooks spoil the broth. I'm going to explain both proverbs for you. So what's the meaning of many hands make light work? It means that a task is soon accomplished if many people help. And proverb 2, too many cooks spoil the broth. It means that if too many people are involved in a task or in an activity, it won't be done well, which is not the case in our lesson. So, last question, find in the text words or expressions meaning nearly the same as needs, and here the correct word is requires. So requires means needs. And the meaning of to realize or to understand, here is the answer, to figure out. To figure out means to realize or to understand. So now we have finished with reading the text, but we need to brush up our grammar. So I picked up a sentence from the text. I'm going to read it for you. But before that, in the following sentence, there are 2 verbs. Underline them and say in which tense or in which tenses they are. Last year, as I was doing project work, I suddenly realized that one cannot do that much work alone. Think of it. Good. Okay, there are 2 verbs which are verb number 1, was doing. It's composed of 3 parts, to be in the past, plus verb, plus ing, which is of course the past progressive tense. And the verb number 2 is realized. It's composed of verb plus ed, and it's of course the simple past tense. So now let's remember, okay, we have the simple past and the past progressive. We saw the past progressive tense or the past continuous tense in the 8th year program. Last year we saw it. So it's composed of 3 parts, was or were. Here we have the verb to be in the past, plus verb, plus ing. And it has 3 uses, or there are 3 cases in which we can use the past continuous or the past progressive tense. So 1, we use the past continuous to describe a continuous action in the past interrupted by a short action. A continuous action or a long action in the past interrupted by a short action. So the example will make it clearer for you. I was watching TV when the phone rang. So the first action is I was watching TV. It's a long action in the past, and then it is interrupted by the second action, which is the phone rang. So here we can note the use of when. Case 2, so we use the past progressive tense to describe a long action in a specific time in the past. What is a specific time in the past? Let's see in the example. Yesterday at 11 a.m. I was taking an English class. So yesterday at 11 a.m. it's a specific time in the past, and the long action is I was taking an English class. Of course, it takes time. It's a long action in the past. 3. Now we use the past continuous or the past progressive tense to describe parallel actions or to describe actions happening at the same time in the past. Example, I was doing my homework while my brother was watching a film. We have two actions happening at the same time, was doing and was watching. And here we have while. You note the use of while here and when. So let's practice. Here I need you to put the verbs between parentheses in the simple past or in the past progressive tense. Okay, think of it for 5 minutes and we are going to correct them together, but before that I can read them for you. As my brother play computer games, my sister listening to music. We have here as. It's like when we say while. Number 2, he walk in the forest when he see a big bear. We have when here. Pay attention. 3, I speak on the phone when the doorbell ring. And 4, my father read a newspaper while my mother prepare lunch. We have while. You can go back to the rule if you need help. So pause the video, think of correct answers and let's check them together. Okay, now let's correct. Sentence 1, as my brother, we say as is like while. So we use while when we describe two parallel actions or two actions happening at the same time in the past, two long actions of course. So as my brother, good. As my brother was playing computer games, my sister was listening to music, good. Two long actions in the past. Sentence 2, he was walking in the forest. It's a long action interrupted by a short one because we have when here. So he was walking in the forest when he saw a big bear. Great. So see here is an irregular verb. The past of see is so, of course. Now sentence number 3. I speak on the phone when. Again, we use when to describe a long action in the past interrupted by a short one. So the long action is good. So I was speaking on the phone when the doorbell rang. So ring also is an irregular verb. So the past of ring is rang. And the last question now. My father read a newspaper while my mother prepare lunch. We have while, as we have seen, to describe two long actions, two continuous actions in the past. So action 1, verb 1, my father was reading, good. He was reading a newspaper while my mother was preparing lunch, great. And now we move to the last part of our lesson, which is the post-reading part or the production phase. And here you have a topic. I'm going to read it for you. So your English teacher assigned you a project work last week. One of your group members doesn't want to help the team. Write him an email to encourage him to work with the group by stating the advantages of teamwork. So you need to write an email to your friend. You encourage him to cooperate with other members of the group, and of course you should mention some advantages of teamwork. And as you see here, I've given you the benefits and the drawbacks of teamwork, some details that may help you in your writing. And of course you won't need drawbacks because we are going to talk about advantages, but I provided you with some details just in case you need them. So what are the drawbacks of teamwork? So first, some pupils take control of the group and force their opinions on others. 2, pupils can't get on well, they fight. And finally, some pupils don't participate and leave the others do all the work. Now let's move to the most important part, which is the benefits or the advantages of teamwork. We have a lot of advantages as you see here. So first, teamwork saves time and pupils share responsibilities, so the work becomes easier. Here we have pupils share thoughts, ideas and information, as we have seen earlier in our lesson. Pupils learn new things from each other. Pupils learn how to be cooperative at an early age. Pupils become more tolerant. They accept and respect opinions that are different from their own. So here tolerant, we have the explanation of the word tolerant. Group work is fun. And finally, pupils interact with others and make new friends. I will help you by this writing outline. So we have three main parts, which are the topic sentence, the body, and the concluding sentence. Let's start with part 1. So in the topic sentence, what can you do in this topic sentence? You can give general idea about the content of the email, or you can simply reformulate the topic itself. Here is a ready example. So I'm writing this email to encourage you to cooperate with your partners and to tell you about the advantages of cooperation and teamwork. It's precise and concise. Part 2 now, the body of your writing, of your piece of writing. So here you need to provide supporting details or arguments that prove your point of view. And of course, these details or these arguments will help you convince the reader. I provided you with the arguments, with the supporting details in the table before that. So don't forget to use, of course, linkers. Here is an example. First, second, moreover, besides, in addition, not to forget that, last and not least, and finally, you can use other linkers, of course. And finally, the last part is the concluding sentence. Here you can ask for a reply. For example, I provided you with 2 examples. I am looking forward to hearing a positive reply from you, or please write soon and tell me whether you changed your mind. So finally now, I would like to thank you for following the lesson. Don't forget, be tuned, more lessons are to come. They are presented by teachers of English. And of course, don't forget to be safe and stay at home.